Hi everyone and welcome to Lina Knits. This is episode 13 of my knitting and other crafty endeavors podcast. Thank you to all returning viewers. I'm so happy to have you here, and thank you to anyone who's new and checking me out. Thank you so much for taking a bit of your time. I hope you enjoy the podcast, and if you do, you feel free to subscribe or to join the group on Ravelry. That is a hard word, isn't it? Ravelry. And the group is called Lina Knits. And you can find me on Instagram as Lina Knits. I really enjoy all of you there, chatting with you every week and interacting in other ways. And I want to thank you for all the birthday wishes that I received after last week's episode. It was recorded on Wednesday. Today's Monday, so it's been not a full week, so I don't have that much to show. And why it was recorded on Wednesday was because the week was crazy, and it continued to be crazy right until the end. So that's also another reason why I didn't have that much knitting time. But I have other exciting news to tell you, so stay tuned. Yes, so thank you to everyone who always contact me, watched me, joined the group, followed me on Instagram, everything. I really appreciate every one of you. I say that every time, but I do, it's true. I do. A small note about the schedule. I will be away next week. I will be traveling in Italy with my family, my extended family, my parents and my brother as well. I will be in the Florence region, so if anyone has any tips about that, especially the woolly, yarny types of tips that are hard to find on the internet, I would be very happy to hear about those. But that's not why I'm saying this. Why I'm saying this is because the current knit along, Finnish in February, will be closing while I'm away. So I will do my best to close the thread on March 1st. If for some reason I'm not able to, whenever I do close it, just to be fair on everyone who has been part of this, like I've said from the beginning, it will close on March 1st. So any images posts after March 1st, if I'm not able to log it on March 1st, will not be eligible for the prizes. And what do we have for prizes? You can find it on the thread, but there will be yarn and patterns and needles, and they are from me, and also lovely donations from Malin of Tricottery yarns and designs and Sweet Bee designs. So go check the thread out to see what the patterns are, what the prices are, I mean, and also to see all the amazing finished objects that people have posted. I'm just, you guys outdid me. I mean, I have one pair of socks and one shawl. Granted, I did frog quite a bit, so in that sense, Finnish in February has worked. I have reduced my number of works in progress, but I haven't finished as much as I would have liked to, and I'm not sure if I will be able to finish anything more. I will try, but seeing that we'll be leaving on Saturday, no, not entirely sure. Anyway, and then there will be a new knit along, which I will talk more about in 2 weeks' time when I record next time, so I won't be able to do it from Italy. I won't even try. Might be possible, but I won't try. So there will be a break in the podcasts. The new knit along, I'm calling it at the moment Try a New Indie, and by that I mean a new indie dyer. New to you indie dyer. Doesn't have to be someone who's new to dyeing, but new to you, someone you haven't knit with before. And this is completely based on the honor system. I won't be doing any background checks or anything, just going by your work that it's someone new to you that you're trying out. There are a lot of indie dyers, a lot of lovely indie dyers, and I personally have purchased from a few new to me dyers in the past 2 months, I guess, and I'm really dying to try them out. And so a knit along was born, because I love to have company for whatever sort of theme I'm following. And again, I hope this knit along is something that you enjoy, since it's not too restrictive. You don't have to knit a certain pattern or a certain type of item. Nor to use a certain weight of yarn or even a certain dyer, just an indie dyer. That's basically what it is. It's an indie dyer that you haven't tried before. And of course, crochet is welcome as well. I don't do crochet. Well, I guess I never do, but I don't do crochet. I can't really say I do crochet, so that's why I always forget to mention it. But crocheted items are of course welcomed to all my knit alongs. There you go. It should be. I like the new word, the make along, that's been going on. But anyway, when I say knit along, I do mean also crochet items. And speaking of indie dyers, you have an excellent chance to try someone that's new. Of course, you can, well, yeah. As it happens, Lanitium x Machina, a Finnish indie dyer, is celebrating their 5th year in business. And I was gifted this lovely skein of yarn to give to one of you lucky viewers. So if you have never tried Lanitium's yarns, this is an excellent chance for you to get your hands on some. And maybe if you want to, this is no obligation. If you win this, you don't have to use it for the new knit along, of course not. But this is also a great opportunity to tie into that one. And if you used Lanitium before, you haven't used this one, because this is a new base that they're having. This is 90% organic forward and then 10% mulberry silk, and 100 grams is 400 meters. This is a lovely, almost solid gray. And as you can see, the silk gives it a really nice sheen. And I don't really know much about forward, but it's blowing it out. I really want you to be able to see the halo, the slight halo. It's not like alpaca halo, but it does have a bit of halo. I've never knit with forward before, and I don't think I've ever knit with mulberry silk either, and definitely not a combination of those two. And like I said, this is a new base that they just got, so I haven't been able to. I haven't seen this or touched this before. And this is soft and sturdy at the same time, which I think is the silk and the forward. But it's really, really gorgeous, and I need to buy some of this for myself to try out. This is fingering weight, but it sort of feels like it would be lovely. It's so warm. But whoever is lucky enough to win this will be then able to tell the rest of us what it's like. I will be opening the thread on Wednesday, the 24th of February, and it will be open until March the 6th. There will be a question or a prompt or something to answer, but basically anyone who watches this podcast and is a group member can enter to win this lovely skein. I'm really sad to part with this, but also very happy to be able to give this to one of you. I wish I could give them to all of you, but I can't. So yeah, check that out. So it's sort of in between decals. Finish of February is closing down, new one's not yet started. So that will be a giveaway for you. And also to local viewers, I know there are some of you. Hi. I just heard that Snorre, a local yarn store here in Helsinki, is carrying or starting to carry. I didn't see them on their website yet. Starting to carry some of Lanitium's yarns, and they have some special colorways that are not available anywhere else. And also, there might be a chance to go shopping for all of their stock later on this year in the form of a pop-up shop. But I will keep you posted on that as I get more news. But very exciting and dangerous for the wallet, but exciting. All right, I think that is all of the sort of housekeeping things. I only have one finished object, and it's nothing to do with Finnish in February. I knit yet another baby hat. I think I'm now starting to have enough of baby items in store to give us gifts for whenever the babies are born. The first one is expected any day now, really. So this is, some of you might recognize this yarn, is the Jaeger extra fine merino chunky that I use for my chateau shrug. I had 150 grams skein left over, and as I was going through my stash looking for something else, it just rolled into my hand, really. And like I said, I haven't had much time for knitting, and I know it's sort of silly to spend the time that I do have working on new projects, but I just wanted to have something done. So I took that bowl and went to search for a pattern to use it on, and also made me have one less stash entry on Ravelry, which always makes me feel good, since I am trying to reduce my stash. Believe me or not, I am. So this is Northward by tincanknits. It's another one of their wonderful free patterns. And again, as usual, it comes sized from anything from baby to large adult, I believe. And this is the baby sized. And the 50-gram ball of chunky yarn was, or bulky yarn, I think Ravelry calls it, was enough to do this. I had even a bit left over, but not much. So this was a quick and easy knit. It does have cables, but they're simple, basic cables. So again, another quick baby gifts recommendation, and a quite satisfying one since it was so quick to knit. I got that, yay, I finished something, I made something this week as well. And then on to my works in progress. I have been knitting quite a lot on my Avia socks by Rachel Coopey. And these are in the Life in the Long Grass sock base, which I believe is called Fine Sock. It's 75% merino and 25. Now I have to check. Was it polyamide? No, nylon. It was nylon. Superwash merino and 25 nylon. And I'm really, really loving these. I think the more I knit, sort of the color changes. At first they were just a mix of pastels, but now I think, I don't know, sometimes they look green to me, other times they look pink. I guess it depends on what angle you're looking at it. But yeah, I'm really, really liking these. I like the yarn, I like the pattern, and I like how it knits up. But it's slow. I'm knitting this on 2mm needles, which is size US 0. And even if it's for my small US size 6.5, but that's about 36 or 37 European. So it's slow. And because of the the patterns. I found the leg and the cuff to be especially slow now that I'm down to the foot, and I've done with the gusset and everything, so it's just round and round, and I've sort of memorized the pattern. Now it's going a bit faster, but this is just the first sock, and I still have the other one to knit. So I'm hoping, really hoping, that I will get this finished before February ends, but I'm not sure that I can. I'm not sure if it's possible to do it. What I was about to say is, yeah, one of the reasons that I haven't been able to make that much progress is because of the small needles. Now, I said the chunky yarn and big needles hurt my wrists, but these, after I think a few hours of knitting, the needles start hurting my hands. So during the weekend, when I thought I would be knitting on these for most of the time, in the evenings when we watch TV, I had to put it down every now and then and knit on something else for a while, just to give my fingers a break. Now, I think that's just normal. I still love my things. I don't blame them. It's just the needles. You do cables, and I'm not using a cable needle, so sort of really twisting my hands and fingers to get them done. I don't know, it might be faster with the cable needle, but I find cable needles really fiddly and don't use them unless I absolutely have to. And for have to, I think cables with more than 4 stitches involved, that's when I use cable needles. It sort of depends on also the needles I'm knitting with. The things, since there's, well, tiny things, tiny tips, so it's relatively easy to get the cables done without cable needles. But yes, that's something that I've been working on. And the other one, it's like the shawl, which I didn't mention. I realize now. This is the Emiliana shawl by Lisa Hannes that I showed as a finished object last week. And I'm really, really loving this. Like I said, the wingspan is wide, so the ends dangle down. And you can wear it like this, and it's lovely. The mosaic bands are really, really showing up then. But for going out, if it's cold, you can wrap it more times around for a really, really thick layer around your neck. So I'm really, really happy with this. And yes, I mentioned last time that I was not happy with the gauge of the second yarn that I chose. It was quite high twist, so therefore thinner than the other one that I used. But when worn like this, you can't tell, especially since I have a dark top underneath. I don't know if I wore a white top underneath, if it would show, but like this, no, it's fine. I love that. Really cozy and nice. So the other work in progress is like this scarf. I was never meant to start it now. Never meant to do as much progress on it as I did. But I have started a sweater. Now this will be a sort of cropped sweater. Just stockinette stitch in the round so far. Now I'm at the point where I have to separate for the front and back, so it's not going to be round anymore. But this has been perfect to knit on this week, since it's just been round and round and round in stockinette stitch. I've been able to pick it up and knit. I don't even know if I've done a round every time or just a few stitches. And it's done on 4mm needles. I think that's US 6. So it's a good contrast to the cable 20 needle stocks. This pattern is not on Ravelry, unfortunately. Oops, copying things, reaching for others. It's from this Finnish book by Piitu Nykopp, sorry, and it's called Kerroksia, which means layers. So far, I think this book and the patterns in it are only available as this book in Finnish. So I won't go into too much detail about this, since I know most of you won't be able to knit it. But this is what it looks like. And it's called Sintteri, for those of you who have the book. So it's sort of a cropped, loose sweater. Very basic. And, oops, sorry, I should move it this way so the pattern isn't showing. And I plan to wear it like in the picture over a loose shirt or a loose top or something loose, since I'm not cropped. My body is not made for cropped tops. Anyway, that's what I've been doing as my sort of relax, don't stress knit. And it's going really fast. Like I said, this is how much I did in a week, and now I'm ready to separate for the front and back. And then of course there are the sleeves, but they weren't full length either. Oh, what is going on here? Well, there's been some snag or some thick bit on the yarn. Oh no, that's not. No, it is a thick bit on the yarn. The yarn that I'm using is Posh yarn, and they're Gretchen DK base. Now the colorway is called Sweet Perfume Breathing, but their colorways really are one of a kind. So if you didn't get this in the update, you're unlikely to get it later on. So the Gretchen DK base, or all of their Gretchen bases, are 55% superwash BFL and 45% silk, which makes it a really lovely drapey soft yarn. And this 100 gram skein has 230 yards, and that's 212 meters. Now I got 3 skeins of this, and it should be enough for the sweater, since it's cropped and not full length sleeves. 3/4 length sleeves or something like that. And I thought, I haven't really knit with silk blends that much. Some, but not where there's that much silk as this one has 45%. Because I'm always afraid that silk is going to be too heavy, and I'm not sure what patterns to use it for, but I thought with a cropped sweater it wouldn't get too heavy, it wouldn't stretch the weight of the sweater wouldn't stretch the sweater. That's what I'm trying to say. And look, this is not perfect, but look, I have a ball winder. I messed up with the end bit, so it's just wrapped around, but look, I got a ball winder from Sweetly, from Gabriella, who very kindly, after hearing that I didn't have one, offered to send one of hers, because she had several and she didn't use this one. So I said if she wanted to, I would be happy to receive it, and she did send it to me, and I love it. I love caking up yarn. I just want to. This is going to cause me to cast on for new things. Yeah, it just goes so fast. But like I said, I'm still learning how to use it, as I sort of messed up with the end, and it just came unraveled and flew all over the place. But yeah, I like knitting from cakes. So thank you, Gabriella, for that one. It was such a nice surprise to get in the mail the last week with all the craziness going on. So yarny gifts from yarny friends, and yeah. So thank you so much. And then yeah, Last week I said that I would show you my Cozy Memories blanket. Now I hope you're not expecting me to have a huge amount done. This is my this is my blanket. But what I thought I would do is I'm going to knit 10 squares, and that will be the width. And then I'll just keep on adding rows and see how far I go with it. So it'll be a nice and which way to stretch. This is now 9 squares so far. And I know they're not even looking that squarey, but it doesn't matter. I think once I start adding things up, this on top of these, it'll stretch out and sort of pull together more than having it as a long strip. So the yarns on this so far in this one was from Hue Loco. And all of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm knitting, all of these 5 ones are from Andy of Andre's Units. And then these 3 are from Hurihan. And I'm knitting, what I'm doing is I'm knitting all the minis from one person or from one swap in a row before moving on to other ones. So I have a few more from Hanna to finish. And then I have minis here waiting for me in the basket. I have minis from Meredith of the Wool Gathering podcast and from Isabel of the Fluffy Fibers podcast waiting for me here. But this is the reason that I said I would talk about this. Because on this bag is from Mina of the Knitting Expat podcast. I believe this is her large size. And she had an update way back before going to Vogue Knitting Life in New York and everything. And I had every intention of checking out her bags. It's like I said, I'm trying new dyers, trying new bags. So I meant to check it out, but forgot and went in a day late. And this is what was left. And this is perfect for me. I wanted a large size, so I wanted it for my memory blanket. And the color, it's just perfect. I love it. Different sort of shades of purple and then gray, which is also slightly purple tinted, I think. And I attached the Progress Creeper. Well, it's a creeper. Progress Keeper that I got from Meredith of the Wool Gathering podcast. The lovely sparkly octopus. So just put it here that I would see it as often as possible. But yes, other people have mentioned, other podcasters have mentioned of having a special pair of needles for their project. And I like the idea. And then I realized that it's actually quite necessary. Since this is a very, very long-term project, and I was knitting it with, and still am knitting it with 2.75 millimeter needles. But I had 2 from my set of 2.75 sock needles. So why am I showing this? This is the one that I'm knitting next. It's from Hanna, and it has those lovely different shades of blues and greens, and it has a bit of glitter. I'm just trying to see if my camera will focus on it. It will not. Anyway. Yes, so I had those DPNs here, and then I just realized when I was starting something else that if I just knit with those DPNs, then I won't be able to do any other knitting with the whole set. So the blanket would essentially reserve 5 needles, a whole set of DPNs. So like I said, I really love my things, and I wanted to buy more of them anyway. And they are available in Finland, the DPNs in the 15 centimeter and 20 centimeter size. but the straight needles are not. So when I heard Danny from the Little Bobbins Knit mentions that Get Knitted was having a sale on all Knit Pro needles, I went and checked that out, and they had the shortest of the straight needles, which I think is 25 centimeters, and these are the 2.75 millimeter needles. So I got these, and when I looked at the sale price, and even with the exchange rate and the postage, when I ordered this and 2 sets of DPNs, the price of the DPNs came to be the same as they would if I'd gone to a store here. So I just figured I'll just order, since I'm ordering these anyway, I'll order those as well. But yeah, what I got was not straight needles. If you can, I don't know if you can see, but the top needle, top one, that's all crooked. Now I'm spinning it around so you can see how it sort of twists. This is how it arrived in the mail. Needless to say, I was very disappointed. I had been looking forward to having these special needles for my lovely blanket, and it was bad. But I immediately sent them a photo of it and emailed, and they said they are sending a replacement. It just hasn't got here yet. But I couldn't wait any longer, so I started knitting with these. And I don't think it matters so much with this project since the squares are so small. But yeah, it's sort of odd knitting with needles that are supposed to be straight and are bended. But anyway, they assured me that it's, well, I don't know if it's an assurance or not, but it has to do something with the mailing. So the needles that they get from Knit Pro are not faulty. Who knows? I hope the next pair arrives safely here. If not, let's just let it go. Yeah, so those are my works in progress that have seen the light this week, for the past 5 days since I last podcasted. So yeah, not that much going on really. So I thought I would share a few of the projects that I'm planning on casting soon. And one of them is, I hope the glare isn't too bad today, these Bellingham Mitts. And these are from 6-Bit Storybooks, which is a newish. This is their second issue, I believe. They're new. It's a newish online magazine for knitting patterns. You can find them at 6bitstorybooks.com. They have a very lovely website. I think it's just beautiful. This really, just browsing their website gives you a good idea of what the magazine is like. Full of lovely photographs. Really, attention has been paid to how things are presented, and the patterns, as you can see in this picture, the person in the middle is wearing the Bellingham Mitts. Bellingham Mitts. And here on their project page, another model is wearing them in another setting. And this is what I love about the magazine. I haven't had a chance to read through all of it, but just browsing through the lovely, lovely photographs for the knitting patterns, I noticed that they have the same pattern shot on different models and different environments, different settings, different locations. So you really do get a feeling of what the pattern will look like when you knit it, and how it will function, and how it will look like when worn. There are so many photographs of each of the patterns to start with, and then to have them on different models. And sometimes I think the one that was on the cover, this one, this is called Linden. the linen cardigan. It's knit here in green, and you can also find the same pattern knit in turquoise yarn. So you get models, yarns, locations. It's really, really good way of seeing the patterns. So I'm really, really looking forward to casting on several projects actually from that issue. But I thought I just want to get my hands on some of them. So I thought I'd start with the mitts. Since they are quick and easy, they're DK weight. I have DK yarn, plenty of DK yarn, so I can do those without any, just going to my cupboard there and picking up yarn and starting. And I want to mention that, let me just take a sip of water first, that I was kindly gifted this issue. The latest issue is called Dwell, and the issue before this was called Unearth. So I got both of those issues as a gift. Melissa, or Mel for short, the woman behind 6-Bit Storybooks, was on Instagram, was looking for people to work with and to share her newest passion, this magazine. She hopes to have it published on paper someday, and I hope that will happen because it's so lovely, visually lovely, that it will be amazing to have it on paper. So she asked people to contact her, and I did. I told her that I have this podcast and that I loved her magazine and the patterns and would be trying it out anyway. So to my surprise, one day my email inbox had both of the issues for free. So thank you so much, Melissa, for those. I really, really appreciate it. And I will be talking about the magazines more and sharing what projects I make from them as I make them. So I just wanted to say it out loud that yes, I did receive these for free, but I also want to point out that I asked for them, which I asked for them. But that's just, to me, what I'm trying to say with that is that this is something that I was really interested in on my own first, and then I was gifted it, and I'm really grateful for that. But yes, that's one of the things that I want to cast on soon and want to get to know better. The other person behind this is Melody, who's Mandarin, who's Melody from the Mandarins podcast, and the designer behind all the Mandarins patterns. I think she was published in Pom Pom magazine, for example, and she has several on sale on Ravelry. So she and Mel have designed the patterns so far on the 6-Bit Storybooks, and it's just amazing. Yeah, and the other pattern that I really want to cast on is this one that's being all over the knitting community now, but it's amazing, and it's this Waiting for Rain shawl by Silvia Bilvia. And for my birthday, a very generous viewer of the podcast gifted this pattern to me. It's been on my queue, and I even had yarn picked out for it, but I hadn't yet purchased the pattern. And she gave it to me as a birthday present, and I'm really, really touched by it. It was such a lovely thing to wake up to in the morning to find that pattern on my Ravelry message box. So what I'm going to be using is this sock yarn, fingering weight yarn. One sock yarn. It's vintage pearls, and it's from New Zealand. This would actually go for my new indie designer knit along as well. So this is what I'm going to be using for it, and I think these two projects are something that I'm going to be casting on very soon. I haven't really done that what I want to knit segments before in the podcast. I don't know why. I guess I've had so many works in progress that I haven't really had time to plan for new projects. But now that my pile of whips has diminished and the end of February is inside, just sort of really itching to cast on new things. And I have something else new. Last week, I mean, gosh, I have no stash enhancement. For one, I did not get any yarn. I don't even remember if I bought any yarn. I think I must have bought some yarn since it was my birthday, but I didn't get any in the mail. But instead, I got the lovely pattern, and then I got the ball winder from Gabriella, and then I got this, which is something that I want in a giveaway. And it's a Holland handmade project bag. And I won it from Along the Lanes podcast giveaway. Along the Lanes is hosted by the wonderful, funny, lovely Vero. And she's in the UK. She has declared this year to be the battle against boring, which is something that I'm really in for. So what it means is just enjoying your making and trying out new things, and color, whatever it means to you. I think I answered the very first question that she had, the very first giveaway for the battle against boring, and that was to just tell what sort of new things you want to try this year. And for me, it was pattern designing, and I've already done that. So when I won this, I was like, it felt like a prize for doing my own battle against boring. So this is a really, really lovely bag from Holland Handmaids, and another chance for me to try a new project bag maker. The inside looks like this. And I was very lucky also to be the recipient of one of Vero's handmade cards. This is really lovely. She had a tutorial, or posted a tutorial on YouTube on how to make these cards. Now I forgot what she calls them, but she uses different methods. So stamping and painting, and it was just amazing to watch, and I'm wanting to try some of this with my son. The multimedia card making. But it was really, really lovely. So thank you very so much for hosting the giveaway, hosting Battle Against Boring, and for sending me this. It was very, very happy mail week indeed. And also, one more thing arrived in the mail. I'm doing, since I haven't yet sent out mine, I'm sorry, Sarah. I'm doing a mini skein swap with Sarah from Knitty Nerdy and Natural podcast. You should really check her out if you're at all into knitting or into nerdy stuff like I am. I met Sarah got to know Sarah through the Knitting Dead group on Ravelry. So these are the minis that she sent me. And they're really lovely. And they are yarns. She has really lovely labels. There are some handspun. This is her handspun. And they are yarns that I haven't had a chance to use. And she tells me where she's used them and everything. So it's really, really thoughtful package of lovely minis. So this will be going into my project bag. I'm waiting for their turn to get on the blanket, and I'm really happy to have something from Sarah there. And Sarah also sent me lovely stitch markers and progress keepers, or this. Well, they're all progress creep. Why do I say creepers? Well, they creep along the project, and they, yeah. And I can't really decide what my favorite one of these is. And I'm sorry about the crinkling. I'm trying to get them settled so that I can show them to you at once. So there are some vampire fangs. And yes, Sarah, vampire fangs are completely okay. They're super cute. Not cute, sorry, super cool. And then there's mushroom, which is also really, really lovely. Okay, just trying to hide my face. And then there's this one is cute. Yeah, it's upside down. It's a moon with a little cat sitting on it. Sorry about that. And yeah, I got my camera to focus. Excellent. Okay. Yeah, and one more thing that I got. If you look that way, some of you might have noticed it already. I have a spinning wheel. It's not mine, but I get to borrow it. It's from Nea from Lanitium's Machina. Well, she brought the yarn over. She also bought the wheel. Or would it be the other way around? I don't know. Anyway, that's Bliss wheel. And it's the one that I had been eyeing up and thinking of buying. And she just offered to give me hers to try out. And it got here yesterday. And as you can see, I have done some spinning, but it's just absolutely horrendous. So I'm not going to show it to you. But that's something that I will also be doing this week. So might be another reason why the socks for my finish in February. Cal will not be finished in February because I'm just really dying to get to know how that thing works and how you spin with it. It's funny since I don't know if I mentioned, but I got to try a spinning wheel. Another lovely Ravelry offered to teach me how to use a spinning wheel. I have spun with the spindle before, so I'm not completely new to spinning, but that was the first time I tried a wheel. And actually, she's continuing to teach me later this week. I hope we'll get together. We are meeting in a yarn store in a city that's sort of halfway between where we live. It's only about 15-20 minutes from train by here, so it's not that far. But yes, so when I tried that wheel, it was, well, it wasn't, I didn't, we called it art yarn, what I produced. It was art yarn, but I mean, I got it going. It was manageable. But that last night, yeah. So I need to practice some more and spend some more time in front of that wheel. But I'm really happy to have a chance to try it out before I buy a new one. I'm pretty sure that I will buy my own, since I can see once I get the feel for it, it will be addictive. And yeah, anyway, so excited. I'm just really thrilled with both the local and the international knitting community that I'm allowed to be part of, and with all the lovely friends that I've made. Some I've met face to face, others I haven't, but I'm really, really glad to be here talking to you and making a connection. And I just hope that I will be able to somehow repay all the goodness that's coming my way to others. Yes, that is all for me for this week. Thank you so much for watching. And if you enjoy, or if you don't enjoy, please let me know and let me know what you liked and what you didn't like. Feedback, comments, and come join the Ravelry group for Finish in February, just one more week. And then for the giveaway for this absolutely gorgeous skein of yarn, and also for the new knit-along starting on March 15th. And don't forget to let me know about Florence if you have any tips about that. So see you in 2 weeks. Bye.